If you're a true Liverpool fan, subscribe to Anfield Signal. Forgotten Liverpool wonderkid finding success in unexpected European League. Liverpool had high hopes for Sheyi Ojo when the youngster was breaking through at Anfield, and the forward is now attempting to build his career on the continent. Sheyi Ojo played a starring role for current club Maribor over the weekend, as he scored and registered an assist in a Slovenian top-flight game. Ojo, who joined Maribor in 2024, has been a regular starter for the club this season, scoring twice and registering 4 assists in 20 appearances. It's now 15 years since the 28-year-old joined the Liverpool Academy after impressing for Milton Keynes Dons youth teams as a young boy. Ojo was a highly rated youngster during his time on Merseyside, but struggled to fulfill the promise from his academy days, and only made 13 appearances for Liverpool's first team, with just 6 of those coming as a starter. Ojo signed long-term contracts with Liverpool in 2015 and 2018, so while his last appearance for the Reds came during the 2016-17 season, he did not leave the club until the expiry of his final contract, in the summer of 2022. The attacker spent time on loan at Wigan, Wolves, Fulham, Reims, Rangers, Cardiff City and Millwall during his Liverpool career. Upon the expiry of his Liverpool contract in 2024, he signed a 2-year deal with Cardiff, but he struggled to make an impact with the Welsh club, and spent the second year of his Cardiff contract on loan at Belgian Pro League side Kilovolt Kortrijk. Speaking in an interview with The Athletic in November 2024, Ojo spoke about the moment he felt that his Liverpool career was derailed. In August 2016, just weeks after Ojo had figured in 8 of Liverpool's final 10 games of the 2015-16 Premier League season, the then teenager was diagnosed with a fracture in his back. He would go on to play just 2 more times for Liverpool in FA Cup games during the 2016-17 campaign. "I was really upset, to be honest," Ojo, who was also a regular for England across various age groups, said. "It didn't break me because I'm still here, but at the time I remember feeling heartbroken because I knew really that was my opportunity to properly kick on. It was a back injury and I was out for about 4 months. Even to this day, I remember that exact feeling. It was a hard one to take." Liverpool fans claim separate VAR incident was swept under carpet against Man City. The video assistant referee looked into an incident involving Federico Chiesa during second-half stoppage time of Liverpool vs Man City, but the on-field decision was upheld. Some Liverpool fans have questioned why there was not much focus put on a late scramble in the Manchester City penalty area, which saw Federico Chiesa hit the deck and appeal for a penalty. Sunday's game was approaching the closing stages of stoppage time, when Salah cut the ball back to Chiesa just outside the 6-yard box. City midfielder Rodri came sliding in, and Chiesa fell to the ground. The commentator on the Sky Sports broadcast in the UK confirmed at the time that the incident was being looked into by the VAR, but the incident ultimately went unpunished. There has not been much talk about it since the game, and one Liverpool fan expressed their confusion as to why on social media. "Is there any more footage of this after it was swept under the carpet?" they wrote. Another said, "So we're just not gonna get a single replay of Chiesa going down in the box? Did VAR even review it with the nonsense that happened right after?" A third said, "Did VAR even review Chiesa getting rugby tackled in the box?" Arne Slot questioned the performance of the officials after the game, but his main gripe was that Marc Guéhi was not sent off for fouling Mohamed Salah when the Egyptian was bearing down on goal. There was a VAR review on Guéhi's foul, but the original decision was upheld. A Premier League match center explanation said, "The referee's call of a free kick and yellow card to Guéhi for the challenge on Salah was checked and confirmed by VAR, with the challenge outside of the area and deemed not to be denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, dogso, as there was a covering defender." Slot, however, thinks City should have been reduced to 10 men. "We can talk about the decisions," Slot said. "I would like to talk about the one time Mo was through on goal and Guéhi holds his shirt. Everyone who has been in this stadium in the last 8 years knows if Mo is in that position it is a goal. So it is denial of a goal-scoring opportunity." Slot continued, "When you ask me about what decision, I thought, what do you mean, the disallowed goal at City, the penalty they got in the away game against us, the clear red card on Mo Salah in the second half here, or the penalty they got in the second half, or do you mean this, Dominic Szoboszlai red card, decision? That's only over 2 games, and the ones that follow Liverpool know how many decisions I can come up with in all the other games as well, all the big decisions that could have gone in some situation to a 50-50. Liverpool's tragicomedy season shows clear trend to put Champions League status on knife edge. In a season where it feels that just about anything that can go wrong for Liverpool will and in fact has, it was some feat to break new ground at Anfield on Sunday. The latest piece of Dominik Szoboszlai genius broke open what had been an absorbing contest up until that point, but having taken the lead over Manchester City with a little over 15 minutes remaining, the Reds opted to retreat. Anfield's blood was up and Pep Guardiola will have been forgiven for thinking it was going to be another afternoon where he failed to crack the code on Merseyside. Instead, the hosts didn't go for the throat, allowing a title-chasing City the chance to first equalize, in the 83rd minute through Bernardo Silva, and then go on to win it with an Erling Haaland penalty, which was yet another stoppage-time concession for Arne Slot's men. It's the latest Liverpool had ever led at home and lost in the Premier League, unlocking the latest unwanted statistic in the process, and it's becoming a hideous, error-strewn year that is now in real danger of ending without Champions League football for just the second time since 2017. It was also the latest winning goal on record by a visiting team since the 2006-07 season, with Haaland's spot kick timed, officially, at 92 minutes and 42 seconds. Victories for Manchester United and Chelsea on Tuesday evening, away at West Ham United and at home to Leeds United, respectively, will leave Liverpool further adrift when they kick off on Wednesday night against a Sunderland side who are unbeaten at the Stadium of Light since their return to the top flight. In the 5 games against the 3 newly promoted teams, the Reds have won just once, which came via a stoppage-time penalty from Mohamed Salah at Burnley in September, and it is the need to constantly play until the very last blast of every referee's whistle that is undercutting Slot's players. 6 times the Reds have now conceded after 90 minutes, and that has been responsible for an 8-point swing. City, who also had a goal in the 104th minute ruled out in farcical circumstances, can now add their names alongside Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Leeds, Bournemouth and Fulham, whose 95th minute equaliser at Craven Cottage last month won the Goal of the Month award on BBC's Match of the Day 2 on Sunday evening. That Harrison Reed's first goal since April 2023 just happened to be one of the best you'll see this entire campaign, merely hammers home the idea further that 2025-26 has become a tragicomedy from Liverpool's perspective. But Slot has unlikely walked under any ladders lately, and blaming simple bad luck doesn't stack up. Liverpool have not helped themselves, and all too often results have been allowed to hang in the balance for too long, meaning late goals, whatever end they have been scored at, have become too decisive and damaging in the overall picture. For losses from goals conceded after 90 minutes is already the joint most by a team in a single Premier League season. Slot's side have the chance to take that dubious honour outright in their final 13 games, which will eclipse Watford, 2017-18, West Ham, 2021-22, Watford, 2021-22, and Southampton, 2024-25. Not content with simply losing 4 games late on, however, the Reds have even conspired to draw 2 as well, and they have all combined to be the difference between floundering in 6th and sitting comfortably in 3rd. Even in the Champions League, where it's become accepted that Liverpool have been a much better proposition, late goals have been needed to secure victories over Atletico Madrid, Virgil van Dijk, 93, and Inter, Szoboszlai, 88. The issue was something Captain Van Dijk refused to label as a pattern when asked after Sunday's game, remarking, "I think you can't compare all of the goals conceded in stoppage time. I think maybe you can compare the Crystal Palace goal and the Bournemouth goal, but this one you can't compare with the others. But the fact is that we conceded that late on, and I keep saying it, but we have to do better in this." Harry Maguire's winner for Manchester United at Anfield in September was also scored inside the final 6 minutes, while the Reds themselves struck winning goals in the 94th, Bournemouth, 83rd, Arsenal, and, ludicrously, the 100th minute, Newcastle United. That means Liverpool games, across all competitions, have been significantly altered by goals scored inside the final 10 minutes on as many as 13 occasions this term, painting the picture of a team being made to play until virtually the last kick of most games. It's already the same amount in 37 games across all competitions as they managed across the entirety of last year, when they played 56. That, for a squad who looks so stretched and short of options, despite the mammoth £450 million summer spending, must be punishing and exhausting. When Slot and sporting director Richard Hughes sit down at the end of the season, their postmortem will surely begin here. Virgil van Dijk spells out strong Liverpool demand after Man City repeat, "I keep saying it." Captain Virgil van Dijk speaks after Liverpool's 2-1 defeat to Manchester City, which was the champions' 8th loss of the campaign. Virgil van Dijk admits Liverpool need to improve their game management after a 6th stoppage time concession of the season saw Manchester City win 2-1 at Anfield. The Reds suffered their 8th defeat of the Premier League season as Erling Haaland's penalty, scored after 93 minutes, secured a first win for Pep Guardiola in front of fans at Liverpool after 10 years as City boss. City had another goal chalked off after 100 minutes when referee Craig Pawson sent off Dominik Szoboszlai for dragging back Haaland as he attempted to tap into an empty net with Alisson Becker stranded up front. The champions have now lost out on 8 points due to goals scored in stoppage time this season, and with Van Dijk and his colleagues now 5 points behind Manchester United in 4th and 4 off Chelsea in 5th, the skipper has challenged the team to see out matches better. "I think you can't compare all of the goals conceded in stoppage time," Van Dijk said. "I think maybe you can compare the Crystal Palace goal and the Bournemouth goal, but this one you can't compare with the others. But the fact is that we conceded that late on, and I keep saying it, but we have to do better in this. You also have to remember that you're playing against City, who are obviously very comfortable on the ball, and at times, when you don't win the ball, because we did many times as well, I think making the right decisions could have been better. But yeah, it's easy now to maybe say that we dropped off too much and that's why they scored the equalizer. Overall, the feeling that I have right now is that in the first half we weren't good enough, in the second half we were much better, but still disappointed we lost. At the moment, we don't take positives, because I'm disappointed that we lost. But I will do everything in my power to recover, and then we'll discuss it, and then we have to turn our attention very, very quickly to an opponent that is having a very good season, especially at home, so it will be a big battle. Listen, it's always hard to accept the loss, especially at home. But I think if you really analyze the game as a whole, 95 minutes, and especially the first half, City was really much better than us in having a ball. Obviously they created some opportunities, not massive. Second half we did much better and created good opportunities, but the penalty is the deciding factor. Second half I think we obviously had more domination on the ball at times, more off the ball. First half we tried to be more direct, which causes maybe less control, more chaos. I think they did well in that sense, and when they had the ball, they controlled us, unfortunately, but still it was 0-0 at halftime, so we had time to turn that around, and we did. 1-0 by an amazing free kick, then obviously the equalizer. After that it's both teams going for the win and the penalty decides it. Liverpool now visit a Sunderland side on Wednesday who have not lost at the Stadium of Light all season, and with Chelsea and United both involved in Tuesday night action, at home to Leeds United and away to West Ham United, respectively, Arne Slot's men may find themselves further adrift of the top 5 before kickoff in the northeast. Van Dijk added, "When is the deciding time of the year? I think every game, obviously, that's coming our way we have to make sure that we are getting towards the top 4 to 5. But we need better performances and finding ways to win. That's something that we can focus on and that we have to keep our focus on as well. Like I said, we were having much more control when we had the ball, making the right decisions. When we had the ball, when we lost the ball to them, we put them under pressure. They obviously kicked a lot more long balls because we were having more pressure, so we could win the first ball, not as much of the second ball, but I think that was definitely a much better feeling that I had based on the second half.